All right, I am recording. We're good to go. Okay, guys, tonight we have guest speaker Colleen Eddy, and I am super excited for you to listen to her. I met her at, was it Leadership?
Yes.
Met her at Leadership, and I had already followed her like on Facebook, and she's super positive. She is just really inspirational and upbeat and real and down to earth, and I love all of her posts. So she asked me to speak on her team call, and I'm like, yeah, let's do a trade because I want to hear what you have to say to my team too. So I'm super excited. She is a Success Club All-Star. We've been coaching about the same time. She joined in July of 2013. She's ranked number 228 in the entire company, and she is a combined 5-star diamond with her multiple business centers, and she went diamond in 52 days too. So she kind of hit the ground running and got it all figured out, and she hasn't looked back since. So I'm excited. I kind of gave her free reign on what she wanted to talk about. I told her like who she would be talking to, kind of my leaders and the people that are really growing and wanting to make this a big thing in their life. So, and then I just left it up to her to what she thinks is going to benefit you guys. So I'm excited to hear what she has to say, and I'll turn it over to you.
Cool. Thanks. Yeah, it was funny because I remember we were walking to Autumn Sunrise workout at Leadership.
That's right.
And we were both like, hi, we're both like petrified to go to this workout at Sunrise, and we're just like walking past there. So things are cool. So it was nice to meet you, and thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I'm going to oh, sorry, I thought someone was talking to me. I'm going to tell a little bit about my story, and I won't go too much into it. I actually had the opportunity to speak at a Super Saturday in Boston. I'm originally from Boston, but now I live in Northern California. And so you guys can go on my YouTube channel if you want. People love hearing that because the nitty-gritty of my story is kind of surprising to most people. So, but the other half of my call today is going to be about mindset. And before you all run away and like say, oh, I don't want to hear about it, I just ask that you guys be open-minded and just give the idea of mindset playing a role in your business a huge shot, because it's probably the only reason it changed my life. And I think that's cliche to say, like, everything changed my life, but honestly, for me, that's what it was. Okay, so my background. I am 29 years old, and I grew up on the East Coast, very, very different lifestyle and very different mentality than where I'm at now in life. So when I was 23 years old, I started traveling a little bit, and I got a little taste of California and fell in love. Mm-hmm. So something drew me closer and closer every day to California. I was a retail store manager for Verizon Wireless for about 6 years. So I was pretty young at the age of 23, managing about 30 employees, a multi-million-dollar store. I mean, cell phones, you guys all have them. It's a pretty big industry. And so after college, that's what I did. And so I had all my eggs in one basket, loved my job, thought I was going to do it forever, made great money, businesswoman, the whole 9 yards. Then I get to California, transferred my job there, and it was a whole new ballgame. I ended up working for a horrible boss. She made my life a living hell. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. My relationships were a mess. Just the law of attraction, everything negative. I was a magnet. All these horrible things are happening, and I just couldn't figure out what was going on. The manager that I ended up working for told me that I had to get up or go out. So basically, she was telling me to get a promotion or get the heck out of there. And I didn't understand. I felt like I was doing something wrong because I went to work, I loved my job, and all of a sudden my whole world was flipped upside down because of one person. So one day she came to me and said, hey, there's a great promotion for you to transfer to another store that was an hour away. I would have had to leave my amazing place that I lived in. And I live in Lake Tahoe, if anyone knows where that is. It's beautiful. I was like, I don't want to leave Lake Tahoe and move to Reno, Nevada. No offense to Reno, but that's not what I wanted to do. It's not the mountains. So she brainwashed me into believing that it was a promotion and the store needed my help. And when I got there, the store closed 30 days later, and she knew it was closing. So she worked me out of the company. Talk about your life really thrown upside down. I had no idea what I was going to do. I picked up side jobs. I managed a salon. I worked at a casino, and I wasn't moving up in life, let's say that. So my health really became an issue. I have had stomach ulcers from my stresses from that whole traumatic experience. They were so bad. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, and my fiance, we're getting married next summer, his name's Sean. He was my boyfriend then. He grew up in California, very positive, uplifting life. And he basically was just like, you just need to think positive, right? And when someone tells you that, when you're going through like the hardest part of your life, you're like, I don't think that's going to work, right? Just thinking positive. Well, we're going to talk about that later. But I knew for him and I to basically spend the rest of our life together, I had to make a big change for the better. I've always been into health and fitness. I actually played college volleyball, but I hadn't been active for about 2 years. And that's when I saw one of my uplines posts, and it actually had nothing to do with fitness. She was standing in front of the Disneyland castle on the Success Club trip. I didn't know it was a Beachbody trip, and she just looked so happy. You know how we hear about this, right? You just see happy in Beachbody coaches, and I'm like, I want that. So I reached out to her at some crazy hour in the morning because I couldn't sleep, bought T25 vanilla Shakeology. Within 3 days, my stomach felt better because of all the stomach issues I was having. T25 was kicking my butt, and I finally felt like this is where I'm supposed to. 52 days, and I'm sure they ask Micah this all the time too, but I just did it. I was sharing, I was helping people. So that's how I got into Beachbody. And that was probably kind of like a weird transition, but I want to make sure that I fit everything in today for mindset. A lot of people ask, how did you get those results? Well, the programs obviously work, but it was all about self-discipline for me. I didn't have a transformation story of I lost 50, 60 pounds. I actually only lost about 8 pounds, but I got ripped. So physical transformation was there.
Down, but I'm not going to let that get in the way of me winning this Mirrorball trophy.
I hope he wins.
I was going to say, is that someone else's TV?
I don't know.
Okay. There we go. It sounded like a sports show
I
or
know.
something. You guys can hear me okay though right now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so for self-discipline for me, I had to tell myself to push play every day. My best friend wasn't involved in my Beachbody beginning. My fiance wasn't really involved. I was just telling people I'm doing this. And as soon as I saw the business opportunity side of things, because my store and my management position and my basically career was pulled away from me, I saw this Beachbody coaching opportunity as my chance to own a business. I wasn't investing hundreds of thousands of dollars, but I had this chance. So I bought a little planner that I still hold with me all the time for my notes. And that is basically my boss. My schedule is my boss. So I'll switch over now into mindset. So there's all the how-tos in the world, right? There's all these trainings out there. Mike is telling you what to do. You read all these trainings and YouTube videos, but why do you guys think there are not more successful people? And it's usually just because of fear, or I don't know if I can do it. I'm gonna get judged. And that's basically summed up to mindset. So what I'm gonna share today is basically all the tools that I've learned from professionals. And what I mean by that is between trainings. I've read 17 books this year. I'm going to share with you guys how I've been able to apply that to my business, and hopefully you guys can do that as well. So I started looking up to successful people, and I was like, okay, well, what I'm doing in life is not working. So I'm going to follow their lead. Reading was the common denominator, vital behavior number 3. So I knew that I had to start doing it. I fell in love with reading, and even though I went to college, I never ever read. Don't tell anyone, but I never did. And personal development was basically like the author poking me in the head saying, wake up. So you definitely want to make sure that you guys are reading the right books. But for me, I think mindset is the secret to success. Because again, with all the how-tos in the world, the only other thing that you need is, I'm gonna go get it because I can. And so hopefully today what I share helps. I hope that it's not hocus pocus in your head, because I know that if someone tried to have this call with me 2 years ago, I'd be like, yeah, okay, whoever you are, whatever, in one ear, out the other. So have an open mind, be willing to give it a try. If your current plan or mindset isn't working and you're just like, Micah, I don't know what else to do. Colleen, I'm trying. This could be the missing piece. So the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is good thinking. And I want to give you guys my best example. I read this in a book and I like wrote it down. I loved it. So there's an example of two sisters. They're hanging out in the kitchen. One sister gets her acceptance letter to her graduate program, and the other sister is sitting next to her watching her open it. And the sister that gets accepted is like, I'm so excited. This is such a great opportunity. It's going to get me to where I want to go in life. It's my dream to go to graduate school. How there's the same situation, two different people looking at it in two completely different perspectives. The sister that's going on a graduate school sees it as opportunity. She doesn't care about the hard work. She's going to get to where she wants to go. So that's how two different people can look at the same situation, but one is practicing good thinking. That's the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people. I'll give you guys kind of a raw example of my personal life, and I don't share this with you guys to like ask for, empathy or anything like that, or sympathy, I should say. But recently my fiance, he's 23, was diagnosed with a form of cancer, and it was kind of like, okay, it happened overnight. And if I had not mastered my mindset the year before, or this last year and a half, I probably would have crumbled when I heard that. And I only share this because, guys, this is real life. Anything could happen in your business. Anything, hopefully, doesn't happen, but crazy things happen in life. So that's why when people kind of just say, whatever, mindset, it's really more valuable than you could ever imagine. So ask yourself, how would you handle something that's crazy that happens in your business? Your best coach quits, or I can't even think of any negative things right now. Slow season happens. Your best coach quits. You drop your rank. I've actually gone from 1-star to emerald, and I was stuck there for 4 weeks because my business crumbled. But the key is you have to be proactive. It's going to happen. You guys hopefully don't, but it's probably going to happen that you miss a rank or you miss a goal. Or what if you're at the last day of the month and you need one more point for Success Club? Are you going to be proactive about it, or are you just going to freak out and stress and say, oh, I missed it? You have to be proactive in your plans as a business owner. You guys will hear me say that all the time. You're owning a business. You can't look at it as, oh, well, whatever, I missed it. You're your own boss. No one else is going to smack you on the wrist. Just like working out, your mindset takes self-discipline. So most people kind of don't end up mastering this because it takes effort every day and practicing and self-reflection and being honest with yourself. So next I want to share with you guys how I master my mindset. So you guys ever wonder how people do the unthinkable? Like for me, when I look at things like Janelle Summers, 45 plus diamonds, and then I have some people who can't help someone with Shakeology or a challenge pack. So how are there two completely different people? They basically are training their brain to say, I can do this. I want to go after it. I want to get it. Why is a strong mind so crucial? People without a strong mind are basically depending on others for validation. The confident people, such as Micah, when you listen to her video of how to get to diamond, she's just like, yeah, whatever, just do it. You just got to do what you got to do. And her confidence level was so amazing, and that's basically what she attracted into her business, which is where she's killing it right now in her business. I was messaging her today, and I was like, we started at the same time. She's crushing it. It's amazing, but she has confidence. She has a strong mind. She's not asking for anyone's validation whatsoever. So good for you, Micah. You're awesome. My best recommendation to you guys is, and I know everyone that does a call is going to recommend a book, but I've recommended this book to so many people. Maybe you guys have already read it. You Are a Badass. Have you guys heard of it? Okay. Yeah. You guys are shaking, yeah. So I'm sure you've been a part of it. If you haven't, totally missing out. It's the book for me that I went from A to Z in my business and personal life. I can literally close my eyes and almost like recite every paragraph in that book, and that's not like me. It's a daily task. It takes effort and time. All the things that you guys think and believe now, whether you're fearful to share or whether you are not really sure about this business, that's all a learned belief. It's going to take time to rewire your brain. I mean, the brain is a really complex thing. You have to catch yourself in the moment. So this is something that I talked about at my Super Saturday event. So when those negative things pop into your head, and when you have that devil on your shoulder saying, I don't know if you should post that, or I don't know, I'm not sure about this, you have to catch yourself in that moment, the self-discipline. And I literally said the word forward to myself. I had a lot of resentment from my past built up, and I had to tell myself, no, I'm drawing the line in the sand and I'm moving forward. Should I look in this chat box or should I go back there after?
I think it's just the book.
Okay, cool. Got it. Sorry, I didn't have my chat thing open. I saw the book on the shelf at the bookstore, and I'm a graphic designer as well. So when I saw the print of the book, it caught my eye because that's just kind of how I work. And if she didn't have that cover, I probably wouldn't have picked up the book. So it was kind of just came my way. But all the energy that we put into negative worry and stress is completely wasted. Me and my best friend, or my best friend and I should say, when we met, we've only been best friends for 2 years, which is pretty small amount of time to be best friends, right? Well, she's like, I'm closer to her than my sister. And when we met, we were the people that would freak out about bills and freak out, what if this? And we call ourselves like the biggest complainers ever. And now we look at our lives. I actually put her underneath my fiance's business center because I didn't ever think she'd coach, and she's freaking 2-star qualifying. So it's like we've completely mastered and changed our lives through saying, no, I want to change this, and I am not going to stress about it. I'm not going to worry. This is what I'm going to do to change it. You have to empower yourself. I don't really have bullet points because sometimes I'm all over the place, but have to empower yourself. And you guys hear this all the time. This is something you probably read and hear on a daily basis. How do you empower yourself though? You have to start doing the things outside your comfort zone, because once you take one tiny step into that comfort zone, out of your comfort zone, you're going to go, oh, that wasn't too bad. And that's how you empower yourself to realize that you can do these things. Just like completing a program. It's hard, but you commit and you realize, wow, I really can do this. You can take baby steps or you can dive in, whatever you want, but all that matters is that you're moving forward. Got to talk yourself through it though. Why can some people lose 100 pounds and some can't? I'm always amazed at that. And you see these people in the Beachbody Challenge, and then there's so many other people that are just like, I can't lose the weight. It's all a self-limitation. What is actually holding you back? Fear is just emotional, can't touch it, it's not tangible, it's not an object, there's nothing in your way. In the You Are a Badass book, she talks about all the money in the world is actually printed and out there. The car you want is created and on the lot today. The dream house you want may technically need to be built, but it is out there and available to you. It's not like these dreams don't exist. You really just have to say, I know I can do it. And for the people like when I look at, Tara Carr and Janelle Summers, like I look up to them so much because I'm like, wow, what they've done is unbelievable, but they've totally had to master their mindset. When I was speaking at Super Saturday, people were like, I could never do that. I could never go up there. And I had asked them, I said, what do you do to get outside your comfort zone? Well, I can't do it. And they just completely shut down. They just completely shut down and they're like, nope, that's not for me. But instead of being open-minded, stepping up on the Zoom chats. I always, whenever I have guest speakers, I make my coaches step up, press the unmute button, and start asking questions. You can hear their voice shaking, they're petrified, but now they're all blabbing away on Zoom chats because I make them do it from day one. That's the best piece of advice I got from my mentor is, are you going to sit back and you're just going to be the observer, or what role on your team are you going to play? And because I stepped up my game, I'm able to do these things like stand in front of 300 people at Super Saturday. My first videos that I made for team trainings are so pathetic and embarrassing, but I love them and cherish them because it was my first try. And so now I look back at them and I'm like, see guys, I was horrible. I'm not saying that I'm like, oh, fine and dandy, but I'm way better than I used to be. Something I do that I kind of laugh at myself, but I just sit in my webcam sometimes or my phone and I talk through my video that I want to make, and I practice and I see what I look like. And sometimes I laugh and sometimes I go with it. And now I actually crave making videos. I love it. I think it's so much fun, but that's not how it was before. Something else that I learned from the You Are a Badass book is surrendering to life. I used to go through life and just be like, all right, going along. And then as soon as something hard came, I'd be like, oh, again? I don't want to deal with this, because I just basically felt like I was shot down for so long. But now I love a challenge. I just surrendered and said, life is going to be hard. I knew this business, especially with how much it rewards you, had to be hard. So you just got to surrender so that when the challenges come your way, hard actually becomes easy. And that's when you become unstoppable. That's when you do the unthinkable in this business. Things like Janelle Summers being the first coach ever to have 3 business centers at Superstar Diamond. That's how you achieve things like that. On my team, I always have this saying, I can do hard things. I'm helping a woman lose 215 pounds right now, and she knows and believes from day one that I know she can do it. I've never met her. Everything's been virtual, and she knows my motto is, we can do hard things. That's what I say on my team all the time. Positive affirmations. I still have a hard time with it, walking around basically just telling myself like, oh, everything's fine, and you're gonna be okay. It's really hard to do that sometimes. Some people write it on their mirror or on their goal list, but I know that I strongly believe in the law of attraction, because my whole life I put negative vibes out there. I was negative Nancy and woe is me, and now I play the victor role rather than the victim. If you guys ever want to read any posts on my blog too, it's ColleenEddyFitness.com. I have quite a few posts on there. I've been doing it for the last year. I kind of took a break for a bit. I'm back at it, but I talk so much about how crazy and creepy the law of attraction is. And when you start practicing and believing in stuff like that, it's kind of like when you buy a new car and then you get out there on the road and it's everywhere. You're like, I've never noticed that car before. It's because you're looking for it. Some of the stuff I've already said. So pretty similar to law of attraction, but whatever vibrations and frequency that you're operating at, whatever you put out in the world is what you're going to get back, especially in this business. If you're half-assing it, excuse my French, but you're going to get half-ass return in your paycheck each week. Or if you lack confidence, that's what you're going to attract as a coach. There's so many coaches that I know are talented, but because they're just not willing to even explore the confidence area, because they're just like, no, I can't do it. That's what they attract. And it's really hard to build leaders out of that type of people. So if you're just willing to just try it and empower yourself a little bit, you're really going to start to give yourself that self-esteem. I always tell my team, when you accept the process and trust the process of all these failures and the why didn't I hit this goal and why didn't that person sign up, when you trust the process and know that all the hard things that you're experiencing now, much like myself, this year has been super crazy with struggles and obstacles, but I knew it was part of the process and it's making me stronger. I want to talk a little bit about failure real quick. So failure is the biggest fear in this business. I asked some coaches, hey, you signed up 6 months ago. I texted you, I called you. I didn't want to jam it down your throat, but what happened? And they say, I was so afraid to fail. This can be for challengers too, but I tell them the only time you fail is when you quit. It's the only time. Mindy Wender did a series recently and she said she removed the word failure and she says stumble. And it sounds so much better. You didn't fail today. You just stumbled a little bit. You didn't break your legs. You just tripped a little bit. It's all good. There's hidden opportunity in every failure. I know that if you guys have read Girl Boss, that's what she says. Failure is a delay. Another favorite saying of mine. It's gonna be okay. Like people will message me with this big, crazy, scary situation, or they think it's big and scary. Oh my God, this happened. I don't know what to do. And I'm like, it's gonna be okay. And they want to strangle me because I say that, but that's how I think now. It's just a delay. When I lost my rank and when I went down to Emerald, I knew I was in it for the long run, so it didn't matter how long it took me to get back. I knew I was going to get it back. As a leader, you accept and you embrace the failure. Whatever you expect is what you get. So if you expect and if you hope that you might hit Success Club, then you might hit Success Club. Or if you hope that you can go to the Success Club 2016 trip, because a lot of my coaches are new this year, they might get to go to the trip. But if they, in their mind, say, I'm going to that trip, you're going to go to that trip, of course, with action following. My favorite part of the Badass book, and I'm going to kind of wrap things up here, is it's your responsibility to bring your A game every single day. Every day is a crossroad and a choice and opportunity to improve your life. So every day that I wake up, if I had a rough day yesterday, it is my crossroad, my choice to go, I can either start it this way, regardless of how stressful and difficult your day is. I have the choice with time and self-discipline to understand that it's my responsibility to bring my A game every day. Imagine if this whole team that Micah has, this amazing team, every single person brought their A game every day, how much more successful this entire team would be. Instead of just maybe a couple people bringing their A game. I'm sure you have more than a couple people, but just saying that if everyone brought their A game every day and I accept it as my responsibility, that hit home for me a lot. So closing up, you have to have a little self-reflection session with yourself, and I had to do that too. There's actually a coach reality checklist that I got from Shay Stanford. If you guys wanted, I can give it to you. And that was a big whoa moment for me, because I'm like, I always wonder what these top coaches are doing. Like, what are they really doing? And so she, I don't know if actually she made it, but I got it from her. And it was this coach reality checklist. And it asks you, are you doing this? And you have to be honest with yourself. Am I, when something hard comes my way, do I have a bitter taste in my mouth about it? Or am I being positive and being proactive about it? Some of the books I recommend, obviously You Are a Badass. I always recommend reading what I call a me book and a business book. A me book would be like a mindset book. And then a business book obviously would be like a GoPro type book. But No Excuses by Brian Tracy. That is a book full on about self-discipline. If you want to talk about lighting a fire underneath your own butt, that book is like, whoa, I really need to get to work. Life's Golden Ticket by Brendan Burchard. And I actually really don't like Brendan Burchard. He does a lot of online marketing stuff, and he kind of drives me crazy. But Life's Golden Ticket was, I actually cried on the plane home from leadership and in the airport. My fiance was like, are you okay? I'm like, yep, I'm fine. That was like a big wake-up call. And then the last one is Thinking for a Change, which is basically teaching you how to think big and think as a possibility thinker. That's by John C. Maxwell. So if you master your mindset, you literally can be unstoppable. So hopefully that helped you guys a little bit as far as where I've come from with mindset.
Thank you so much. That's the one thing that seriously I love about the business, because I feel like you can take someone no matter where they're at, no matter what stage in life they're at, how many struggles they have, whatever. And if they can dig into personal development and change their mindset, they will change their life. And to have that control is amazing. And I didn't realize that until I started Beachbody stuff, because I never read books or never did any of that stuff. So that to me is amazing. And that's the one thing that when I see coaches that are consistent with their personal development, you can tell in their business 100%. And so I love it. I'm so glad you talked about that. I'm going to mute everyone. And if you're loud, then just mute yourself. But if you're okay, does anyone have questions for her?
We just sold this lovely Hummer 300 Tennessee. She was the seller.
What is that?
I don't know. I'm TV.
Okay, if you have TV, raise your hand and I'll mute you. Okay, you guys have any questions for her? Come on, ladies.
It was awesome.
Thank you for the opportunity to do what we love and to be able to share that.
You got quiet.
There we go.
You guys can ask me at all too. Like, I mean, I'm sure that Micah is. Well, I know. I'm not sure. I know what Micah is, but sometimes I know like other coaches on other
They're
teams.
sick of
There's always
for me. Seriously.
Oh.
I have a question for
anyone
you.
doing anything? Sorry, go for it.
Was someone talking, or was that you?
It was me.
Okay. When you have coaches that you see, like you see so much potential in their coach, but they don't see it in themselves and they don't believe in themselves, do you have a book or action plan that you like recommend that they read or do or whatever?
Well, at first I kind of like identify, of course, and some coaches only open up to you so much, but like if someone is struggling with their own personal belief, and of course it's different in every scenario, but You Are a Badass is like my go-to book, because I worked the business for a year and I did not have luck with like any coaches. My rockstar coach quit. Like it was really, my first year was so rough. I think back, I'm like, how did I survive? I have no idea, but I did. Yeah. And in July was my 1 year mark. And all of a sudden I signed up 5 girls and now they're all, well, more than half have hit diamond. And so it kind of all happened at once for me. And it was because I just kept going and I believed in my vision. I had no doubt. When someone told me that I had the opportunity to like money in 3 to 5 years, I was game on. I was all there. So I recommend You Are a Badass, because in the first paragraph of that book, I was like, is this girl for real? She's calling me out on all my bluffs right now. But the team culture for me is huge. Like every single person on my team is at bat for the other person to help them believe in themselves because they've watched basically me help them believe in themselves. So I try to find a coach that believes in herself and has already been down that road of I can't do it to, oh, wow, I really can do it. And connect those coaches, because when you can relate to other people, it starts to make you think about why not me? If she can do it, why not me? And we're really empowering with each other. So
I have another question. Okay. You are very, very, very confident and open about like the business opportunity and what it's done for you. And like your post today, for instance, I don't even remember what it was about now. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Maybe I did
it was about everyone, like how everyone's so positive, like all of your posts, like your news feed is positive now and blah, blah, and you're so open about sharing. That one? Do you know which one I'm talking about? You're like, you're very, have you always been super open? I have some coaches that can rock challengers and get challenge groups filled, but are so afraid to talk about the business side of it openly on their wall. Do you like encourage your coaches a certain way to be open about that, or is that just how you are naturally?
I've always been a very open person, but I've also been a very bittersweet person. So I've been defensive my whole life. I was like that loud, obnoxious girl because that's how I kind of like, I guess, would make myself Upline is, he's in the Millionaire Club, and I just really looked up to him, and he's the type of person who is going to tell you basically to go out there and do it. But he said one thing to me, and it really hit home. It was, you don't have the right not to share this business with others because it's that life-changing. He went from bankrupt, like hardcore, had kids, family, lost everything, and now he's in the Millionaires Club with Beachbody. Like, I don't have the right not to share this, because guess what? If my upline didn't share a photo of her and just sharing what it is she's doing and happy, where would I be? Not here. And so that's how I see it. And it's the same thing with the programs and the products. If it's helped you, and me, it can help other people. That's personally how I see it. Well, it sounded like a fire truck or something. But when he told me in a training that I don't have the right not to share it, I was like, whoa, okay. You know, like I wasn't scared, but I was just like, whoa, that's big for me.
I totally love that.
Sharing the business opportunity, honestly, was so happy. I didn't really know how to share it at first. And then I thought about it. I'm sharing an experience. I'm not sharing a business. I want people who want a positive change, that enjoy. I'm not going to drag people along that don't want to get in shape. We have to desire the change. Like, that's what I got out there. At first, I'm like, everyone, I'll help everyone. But I'm like, if you don't desire the change, I'm not going to come to your house and like lace your shoes for you. Like, you got to be ready for it. And I put that out there of sharing with people that my door is always open, and I want to help the people who desire the positive change. And sometimes it takes up to someone having enough to hear until they come to you and they say, okay, fine, I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
But I always share that my door is open. I'm very welcoming and inviting, but you have to see it as, if this has helped you in any way, you're doing others a disservice by not sharing it.
Totally.
Share it as an experience. I don't like to say, I do say my business because I'm really proud of what I've done. But when I maybe necessarily wasn't at where I'm at now, I talk about sharing the experience. Consistently think about the person you were before you signed up, because not everyone's ready right now, right? So I had to think of the person that I was right before I signed up and try to answer their objections for them, or try to fill in the to Beachbody, they want to change. And so you basically, when you're sharing, you want to think of how they're feeling and make them feel better without them even asking for it. It's really hard to put that into words if you guys are kind of picking up what I'm saying.
Yeah, totally. Okay, girls, does anyone else have questions for her? Anything at all?
Well, I'll jump in like I always do. um, like I'm just starting to get like, I guess maybe it means they say if it's bad press, it's still press or something. But I think when you grow your network a lot, you start getting haters sometimes, or people are jealous, or like, why do you always, like none of my family or my close friends will even like anything that I do, anything that I post, even if it's just, I'll just change a profile picture and like, or anything. And yeah, I'm very supportive of them. And I've had people like, just had somebody that asked me about it, that I've had them block, and I've had my first troll. So I'm getting like these, for the first time, little negative things. It's weird, and it's just, and even though you don't want it to hurt your feelings and stuff, it still kind of does, and I know it doesn't matter. They don't pay my bills, whatever. But, how do you rise above that and not let it, I mean, the book, of course, the books, but I mean, some people are like, you're everything it's beach party this, but that kind of thing, and I'm not going to stop what I'm doing, but it still affects your brain a little bit. You get a little bit sad.
No, it's totally a mind game. And a couple things. So I've heard Tara Carr say, when you get haters, you're doing something right. That's pretty cliche to hear, but hearing it from her at Summit for me just kind of really was like, I would rather attention, like you said, get bad press rather than no press. I'd rather get attention than no attention. But at the same time, when I started this business, again, like none of my friends, none of my family, like no one was hopping on board. I didn't ask any of them, which is the opposite from most people. Like some people are like, hey, best friend, like come join me. I didn't even try because I knew that I wanted to prove to them because I want them in here to say, oh man, wow, she was great. Like I'm not going to give them any reason to doubt what I'm doing. I've never had the question of a pyramid scheme because I'm that confident in this business and I exude that to people. And when I'm sharing, they're kind of like, whoa, what's going on over there? Like, really, what is she doing? Tell me more. Or maybe they're intimidated. I don't really know. But I personally haven't had to deal with too many, I don't even like the word haters, but whatever, haters.
Yeah, it's not haters, it's just like non-support. It's just like people that you support so much that are so non-visibly, nothing you post with your picture or anything, they never, ever, ever will like anything.
No, like my mom, my dad,
they follow my husband now, and like the only thing that they'll like is if my husband posts and tag me in it, something about us, but nothing I post will they even remotely.
None of my friends touch it with a 10-foot pole. None of my friends, none of my college friends. When I go home and visit Boston, they all know exactly what's going on in my life because they're watching everything I'm doing. They support me in person. They tell me if they think it's great, tell me more about it. Until I see them in person. So I'm okay with that, but all I know is that after being in this for a year and a half that they're all watching, because I've actually even, unfortunately, again, just kind of like back to the hater thing, I've had some haters. One of my best friends wrote the meanest comment in the whole world. I'll never forget it. Of course, we're not friends anymore. It was a toxic relationship anyway, but she wrote the meanest thing, and I only cry when I'm mad, and I was crying. I was like shaking, and I saw one of my other friends like gang up on it, and guess what? That person bought a challenge pack from me, and I was just cracking up. And so they eventually come around. It's kind of wishy-washy about it, like not proving that this really is the real deal, then they kind of have a reason. They're like, I don't know, but if you're staying consistent with it and you're powerful with it, then that's really all you can do. I mean, there's not really like an answer, but
it's like there's sometimes like the more success, like the more your body changes, the more there's like the handful of people that, and I don't know if it's jealous, that I don't feel like anyone has anything to be jealous over me over. But there's like, I think maybe it's just a reminder when you post about health that they don't want to face, that they don't want to, and when people don't, they ask you for help and then you send them all and then they won't return your responses. I think maybe people just aren't ready to see they're not ready for their own reality yet, maybe. And I think we're a constant reminder about health. And so sometimes people just hate that because it's like, because they know they should be living healthy, and they're more than results. And yet I'm not going to stop. It just makes me sad that people.
Oh, I know. I mean, I have people in my own direct family who to this day are not taking care of themselves, and it's hard. My sister is going to school she's going to be a doctor, and then there's me, and it's like, really, you're not going to be healthy? But I had to remind myself that although I'm on this wonderful journey, they don't want to be a part of it. It's not their journey for them to understand. And I only want to help the people that want my help. I've been very specific in that. You can watch, I made like a 1:39 video about the holidays and Shakeology. I'm like, to be honest, I don't want to help people who don't want to be healthy. I'm looking for the people that are out there Googling how to lose weight, how to lower my cholesterol. That's the people I want. And then that kind of gives them the idea that, okay, she's not going to try and shove this down my throat. I tell them I only want to help the people that want my help. And then people are just like, all right, I get it. So it's very important to have a balanced way of sharing, of course, like with life, friends,
yeah,
family.
I try to always be that way, but I had someone that told Johnny, why doesn't she just get her own business page to post business things on, or health things, so the people that aren't wanting, that we don't have to see that, And it was just like, whoa, that's how I'm running my business, is I'm trying to get people out there anyways.
Right. It could go one of two ways. I tell people, you just want to make sure, have an honest self-reflection of constructive criticism from your upline and say, am I too salesy, or are these people just being ridiculous?
Am I, Micah?
Sometimes you just have to do that, reflection, and it's a good reflection to have, because I know some people, for me, I am open, and I've shared this before, that I wear my P90X shirt out because my work and my life is now one. I don't go to my 9 to 5. And exactly. So I'm proud of that. And I don't want to ever be like, oh, well, whatever, screw you then if you don't like Beachbody, because it's expensive. But I just am like, it's okay. It's okay. You can go do you. And I'm unapologetically me. That's for sure.
That's good. Because I think that is just my life, and it's my business too. And I mean, I don't think I overdo, but I just don't want people.
I'm sure you don't. I was just saying.
I don't want people to be turned off because I'm healthy. There's going to be a few that will be, though.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that don't want to be reminded every day that they're not, but oh well, I guess.
And it's especially when people go from, okay, I don't know when you signed up, but let's say September 1st you signed up, and then September 4th, all of a sudden you're obsessed with this thing, and the people are just well, it's a change. And so they kind of have to swallow the change too. So.
Right, yeah.
Don't ever give up, because then in a year or however long, you can be like, what's up?
Right. Okay, well, we're on vacation, so we better let you go. But I so appreciate you doing this for us. I loved, you just exude, you're a badass. That's just, that's how you, come across. And you can tell that you have confidence, and you know what's up, and you believe in what you do, and that's what comes across in your posts, and that's why so many awesome people are attracted to you. So I think, and it all starts with us. It all starts right here. And it's the easiest fix because we're in charge, but it's every single day work. And so I'm glad you do this call. Always a good reminder. But yeah, We're just going to close it out and say thank you. Can everyone say thank you?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. If you guys have any questions, feel free to message me, okay?
Thank you so much. It's good. Much needed.
Awesome. Glad to help.
Have a good night, ladies.
Bye, guys.
Bye.